David is a kid that's got a big heart.
To be quite honest with you, I never knew David had any problems.
Munro.
As I got to know him, he'd share with me more and more of some of the things he was going through.
Senior in Lincoln Southwest.
I noticed that he was a little bit smaller than the average freshman, but didn't have any idea why.
I thought that would be a good opportunity and just fun to talk about what I've been throughout my life and how it's affected me in school. I was born with 2 chambers in my heart. I've gone through 4 heart surgeries. I've had countless others. 5 heart surgeries, excuse me. And basically I kind of tell them like the major points in my life, all 5 of my heart surgeries and countless other times in my life where it's been difficult for me to be healthy and all that.
David is our firstborn child, and so it certainly was trial by fire. There were no indications that there were any problems with him prior to his birth or initially after his birth either. It wasn't till he was about 24 hours old that one of the nurses at St. Elizabeth's happened to notice that his color didn't look quite right, but then events began to rapidly unfold after that. First with a pretty grim diagnosis of serious heart problems, survival flight to the University of Michigan Medical Center the next day, and then the first of what has now been 5 heart surgeries when he was just a week old. I think David used the words, "You do what you have to do."
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And Mike and I are not special in that regard. I don't think there's greater love than that of a parent for a child. And your heart breaks at the kind of challenges and experiences that kids like David are forced to face at such an early age in life. But you know you can't change that.
Probably when I was about like a kid, when I used to, during the summer I'd always go outside, do stuff like play baseball with my friends in the backyard, or go in the jungle gym, or play basketball with my dad on our little downstairs hoop. But that I really noticed it when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I noticed that I couldn't run as fast or as long as some of my other friends, so that's kind of when I noticed it. Practice every day. Basically, I bring the basketballs out. I kind of keep clock for them for drill times and all that. And then during games, I film. Sometimes I keep stats, and sometimes I just kind of man the bench giving them waters and towels. But yeah, I still get to basically experience everything that is in basketball, so it's fun.
They treat each other like he's just a member of the team. So he's a fun kid to be around. He's always got a great attitude. He's dedicated to what he does in the classroom or on the court.
I was an athletic director and a coach myself, and when I look at him, he's not like a manager, he's like an assistant coach. And it's really incredible to watch him because he takes the job so seriously. I know he would play if he could, but his heart condition doesn't allow him to have that kind of rigorous physical activity. So he puts his energy into supporting the team.
Dave wants to be part of the program. He'll do whatever he can. When he was going to Michigan to have his heart done, all he worried about was whether or not he would get who would do his job. And he goes, "I'll be back in 10 days, Coach." He kept saying that, "I'll be back, don't worry," type thing. And I said, "You take care of what you need to take care of," and that's what he was worried about.
Things that he goes through, but yet still was able to maintain as normal as possible high school experiences is absolutely amazing. I think the other students can learn a lot by how David, takes care of what he needs to do to be successful.
He's really involved in not just the basketball program, but he's a student ambassador at Lincoln Southwest, and he was also part of the SHOWS program, which is Silverhawks helping other Silverhawks. David was really committed to trying to help get our 9th graders off to a great start. So he's a real strong leader. He's a really good student. He takes really difficult classes, and he puts a lot of effort into the work that he does.
My sister, she doesn't like to show it, but she was pretty upset when I got sent back up, and my brother was sad too because I just come home for like the first time in 2 weeks, and I had to go back up, so that kind of put strain on him. And I'm kind of unsure as to how it affected my parents, but I'm pretty sure that it's kind of stressed out my parents, but you know, they understand about basically what you do what you got to do to keep you healthy. So I don't try to get into details with him, obviously, since he's 7 years old. But I try to reassure him as much as I can.
And I bet he's really excited when you come home.
Yeah, definitely. He was pretty excited when I came home on Halloween because he wanted to show me his costume and everything. So he was really excited when that happened.
I think we're all shaped by our life experiences to some degree, and I certainly think David is. He has an uncommon sense of empathy and compassion for others, particularly as an 18-year-old. And I can't help but think that that is in some way shaped by his real personal understanding of what it's like to suffer health problems, but also having seen all the challenges he's seen faced by other kids, having spent so much time in children's hospitals over the years. He knows he's not a victim, and he knows he's certainly not alone, and he appreciates that he's very fortunate in many ways. And I think his volunteer work at Madonna Rehab Hospital in the pediatric unit and the long-term care unit have been a great outlet for him to express that compassion and to extend a hand to others. So he's shaped by his condition, there's no doubt about that, but it certainly doesn't define who he is.
He's just that kind of a kid, you know, and despite the medical prognosis, you know, he's a kid with a great heart and a great heart for people and a great heart for life, and you know, it makes us that have these silly little problems we worry about seem pretty incidental. So
he was more mature than the average kid his age. So when I found out about his heart issues, it made sense to me that that might make him be a little bit more mature. But he's just one of those young men that just kind of grabs your attention.
For David, of course, is for good health. We recognize that the challenges are not over for him, but we hope that he keeps dreaming big and living life with that free spirit of his. David always finds a path to pursue the things that he loves in life. And most of all, I think we hope that he continues to experience throughout his life the kind of community of friendship and support that he's found at Lincoln Southwest and at Scott and at Cabot in prior years from both the students and the faculty and the staff. David and our whole family has truly been blessed by the experience.
But he doesn't want anybody's sympathy, and I think what's awesome about David is he's a living proof that if you have a positive attitude and you make the best out of life, good things will happen and you'll become your best self.
I kind of just wanted to know like who I am. I do choir, I do basketball, I do ambassadors, but I also have these other things. I have all my medical conditions, so I mean, it's important, but really at the end of the day, it's about who you are and what you do, not necessarily what you have.